prove them wrong. There is, well, that was really close. There is no sweeter feeling than using the doubters and maybe some hate from other people who don't think, who won't support what you're setting out to do. So I say, if you're in that situation where you're surrounded by people that aren't supporting you in what you're trying to do, whether that's for your health or your fitness or your finance or your relationship or whatever, if they're not supporting you, why not use that as fuel for your fire? The fire being that rocket up your bum to do something to prove them wrong. Why not harness that energy? Like, I don't know if you saw the Michael Jordan the Michael Jordan episodes on series, that is, on Netflix, where it was a real deep dive into how he ticked, what made him tick. And one thing that stood out for me was how he invented scenarios in his head whereby he was telling himself that all these other players were saying that he wasn't going to be the best in the world, that he couldn't do the things that he was saying that he was going to do, that he wasn't as good as he was professing to everyone, etc., etc. He had a lot of hate. He was one of the all-time best basketball players out there, and I'm not saying that you have to be the best at basketball, but I am saying is that if you want to improve yourself and you're hell-bent on doing that, on making the most of your time on this earth of ours and wanting to make an impact and wanting to lead your life the way you want to, and there are people out there who are poo-pooing that, who are not supportive of that. One, like, spend less time with them. Two, manage how you respond and react to them. But three, use that as fuel. Like, how beautiful, how sweet would it be later on down the line if you were to prove them wrong? Sometimes it's about turning things on its head and using this mind of yours, using that chimp mind of yours to help drive you forwards when you're doubting that you're not going to be able to do something, when you're finding yourself in a rut, when you're procrastinating over something that you know you want to do. Find fuel for that. Find that initial spark, because it's always the first thing that you have to do that is going to be generally the hardest step to take, the hardest leap to take. So if you look back at the example of Michael Jordan, like, he made up scenarios in his head where he was saying to himself, he convinced himself, he believed that everyone out on the court was out there to get him, and so he was going to have to raise his game so that he would be better than them, so that they couldn't catch him, because he would just jump even higher, he would move even quicker, he would train even harder than them, and prove them wrong ultimately. So it's that kind of ethic that you can use. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but that you can use to drive you forwards so that you prove people wrong. If the dangle of a carrot of better health and fitness for yourself isn't enough to motivate you, why not use another kind of motivation, which is to prove people wrong, to save yourself face, even if you don't tell them that you're proving them wrong, even if you're not even saying it out loud that that's what you want to do, You can still create that in your head. No one else needs to know. But you need to know, because ultimately you're going to benefit from improving those areas of your life that you're trying to push forwards in. To prove them wrong. Decide who you're going to prove wrong. And no one else needs to know except you. That's the beauty of it. You can make up your own mind as to who you want to prove wrong and why, and create that initial spark that you need. Like, motivation isn't something that comes along. It can be something that you create by doing something, by thinking up, like who it is that you'd like to prove wrong, and then package that up. Make yourself want to really prove that person wrong, or people wrong, or organization wrong, or whatever it is, and then go for it. And see how your life changes so much quicker than if you continue doing what you're doing and getting the same results. That's the difference between the Michael Jordans of this world and those that just survive from day to day. That's the difference. If you want to push yourself, if you want to make real changes, maybe wanting to prove other people wrong is going to be the thing that makes that switch, that flicks that switch, that gets things rolling for you, for all those things that you've been talking about doing forever and ever.